I know some like Westerners, a generalizing term, but they say like, okay, I feel much better being in Asia, so they prefer Asia to like Europe, let's say, or to the US. Do you kind of feel the same, or you can be comfortable in both Asia and Europe, let's say?
To me, Asia is like a warm bath compared to a cold shower of Europe, you know, and it's comfortable and easy, and you can just sort of relax into it much more. But and I went to live in the States for 6 years at one point from here.
Yeah,
and I have
New York City.
Yeah, in New York. And I have to say, when I got there, I was desperately looking out for all things Asian. So yes, I guess I really did miss Asia when I was over there, and was very happy to come back here after the 6 years of living in the US. Again, nothing against the US. My sister's lived there for 35 years. I've got lots of other friends and relatives there. But yeah, I was very happy to come back to Singapore.
What you missed the most when you lived for 6 years in New York City? What you missed from Singapore?
Oh gosh. Now, if I was Singaporean, you know what I'd say? I would say food, wouldn't I?
Food, yeah, of course.
because there's absolute obsession with food, makan here. But I know it wasn't for me. It wasn't the food. I think it's just the warmth of the people. I mean, it's not just the climate that's warm, but people are lovely here. They're really, really lovely. And you know, to be frank, in cities like New York and London and so forth, people are pretty busy and pretty stressed, and you know, I don't know. It's not quite so easy to break into their circles because everybody's got their own family there. They've got their own stuff going on. They lead very, very busy lives. I mean, don't get me wrong. I did lots of interesting stuff in all these different places I've lived, but here I find it's very easy. People are, I say, delightful. Charming. There's a charm to Asia which you just don't really get generally in other parts of the world. I think probably that's the people more than anything else.
Some people would disagree when you say like Singaporeans are, let's say, more relaxed or more chilled compared to America.
Look, at the end of the day, America is made up of many, many different kinds of places, and New York is definitely not that chill.
Yeah, exactly.
New York is a crazy, busy place, and that gives it its own unique charm in a way. Whereas if you're in the Midwest somewhere, you would have a completely different experience, obviously. But I think Singaporeans, I mean, of course, they do strive for all kinds of things here in Singapore, and we all know that it's a pressure cooker of an education system and things like that. But I'm looking at the overall picture here. I think people are really quite delightful. Yes, there's a lot of pressure put upon children in particular here in the education system, as I said, and I don't think it's day-to-day life. It's not as difficult, I don't think, here as it is in some parts of the West. You don't have the climate to battle with, to start with. You know, miserable days in the winter, whether it's in New York or London or other parts of the West, are really tough. The Singapore things work incredibly efficiently, so you don't have that issue, you know, oh my God, the trains are on strike again and that kind of thing that you get in certain parts, particularly in the UK. Yes, there are pressures put upon people here for sure, because it's not a cheap place to live. Singapore is obviously more expensive than most other parts of Asia because it is a first world country, and there is a lot of pressure upon you to create wealth for yourself, to be able to survive and live. And I accept all that. As I said, you know, it's nowhere in this world is perfect. There are always some negatives, if you like, or some less than positives at least. But I still think overall it's a more relaxed place than I'm picking out New York and London, as I say. I'm sure there are many relaxed places in, say, the Midwest of the USA, and also in, you know, certain parts of the UK, and obviously in Europe generally. I go to Spain quite a lot. There's lots of very relaxed places in Spain. But
I agree. I think it's the right comparison. You compare Singapore to big cities, to the cosmopolitan cities, not a small village in France.
Exactly.
I mean, you compare a small village in Thailand and a small village in France. Then the comparison makes sense.
Exactly. This is a city-state. You know, it is a very busy place. We have a large population for the size of the island, and so on and so on. Not that it feels that way. It doesn't feel like it's tremendously overpopulated. It doesn't feel overpopulated. But it works well. I think that's one of the things that I really appreciate the place. You know, things work.